Hey, welcome to Pokemon Misprint Episode 2, brought to you by Pokemon Gamers. In this series, we will be showcasing analyzing a Clefairy. This looks like a regular Clefairy, but right here. So this is what we call the Heart Misprint Clefairy. A lot of people think, let's get a closer shot of that heart, shall we? There we go. So this is what it looks like. Look at that heart. So this is a Heart Clefairy misprint. Did a little research on this card. A lot of people, there's a consensus on the internet saying how this card is actually not a misprint, because in order for a card to be considered a misprint, the card was being printed. But if you look closely, it's not a printing error, it's a stamp, it's a heart stamp. And apparently over 10 years ago, there was a magazine documented how a collector into original packages and actually released them into public, making other people think that they're actual production errors, but they're not, because as you can see, it's man-made. It's a stamp. It's an actual stamp that someone stamped on. So that's one of the biggest theories out there on how this stamp came about. There is a slight chance that this came from production error, like somehow the machines were, like somehow something happened to the Clefairy, so like the whole batch got marked with, as we see here, a stamp, a heart stamp, to notify that, you know, don't use this card, but it still got out to production, I mean to distributed towards, distributed for sale, something like that. So let me know, which one do you think it is? Do you think a collector stamped this and tried to resell it? Or do you think it's actually a production error within the factory? I personally think it was a collector, a really smart collector that tried to do this. But you know what? Even though it was man-made, even though this is a man-made misprint, a man-made error, it's still worth money. Why? Because the collector that started doing the stamp probably no longer does this anymore, and in order to reproduce the same stamp, it's pretty hard to, and the amount of stamps that the collector stamped is unknown. So, you know, there's a need for this card. It is pretty cute. Look at that. There's a heart on the Clefairy. Who wouldn't want a heart on their Clefairy? Did you know, actually, Clefairy was supposed to be Ash's starting Pokemon, but they decided to switch to Pikachu last minute because Pikachu was cuter and it. Anyway, thank you for watching another episode of Pokemon Misprint. Let me know if you like this. If you do, we'll make an episode 3 for sure. But yeah, ironic thing is, because someone made this so long ago, even though it was man-made, it's still worth something. So you know what? Let us try doing something too, alright? You guys remember this first edition pincer that we pulled. Alright, let's sign this. So look at that. Now it's signed. It's one of a kind. It's probably not worth much because people don't want it. Just because something's one of a kind doesn't mean it's worth money. First, it has to be one of a kind and people actually still want it. That's when it's worth money. Right now, yeah, it's one of a kind because no one else will have a PG on their first edition pincer, but no one wants it. But if you guys want this, let me know in the comments. Maybe we'll do a giveaway for it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching another episode of Pokemon Misprint. Hope you guys enjoy the series. It's more of an educational series, and if you like it, we'll make a part 3. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.